What's my max on bench and legs? What is the hardest challenge that you've faced in my fitness journey? A big fan of yours, no question at all, just all due respect. I'm a big fan of yours. And why are you so beautiful? Thank you. What's up, YouTube? I am back in full effect. Jen is here. Bald. No wig, no Tina, no Jasmine, no Sasha, no nothing. Just pure entertainment and the bathing suit that you've seen 700 times. But it's my favorite one because I'm Italian. It's the Italian flag. If you don't know, now you know. All right, so I did it again. I asked Instagram for questions. I was supposed to film with somebody. They ended up not being able to come, but here I am. You know you can always count on me. Okay, so first question. What is next? Anything new coming up for you? So, as you heard from the last video, I am not doing the meet. And I actually have had quite a few people that have asked me this. One specific client that we have a lot of dialogue, and he had asked me, so like, what is next? If you don't have a bodybuilding show or a powerlifting meet, like what keeps you motivated for your next goal? And let me just say this again. I have never been motivated by either one of those things. Like, yeah, I was motivated for the powerlifting meet to like do my first one and then annihilate my numbers, like, you know, being number 12 or 13 in the world in women in my age and weight class in my first meet is good. And I wanted to make top 10. And if I hit the numbers that I wanted to hit in July, I would have made top 5, I think. I haven't even looked at the website, but it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to be 48 in July. I would have been 48 on the platform on July 19th. My birthday is July 8th. I think this video is going to come out before my birthday. But, you know, I just want to be healthy. And I'm really happy with my progress with everything. If you're new to the channel, you can go back a couple videos. I did a YouTube video. It was my confession. I was in the hot tub. I think I was wearing Tina. And I was talking about everything that happened. What happened to me over the past few months. But getting back to the answer to that question and the conversation that I've had with my client, like I don't need to be motivated for the stage. I don't need to be motivated for the platform. Like I've always actually found that, and not necessarily with powerlifting, but with bodybuilding. Anytime I specifically then said I'm going to do a show, I felt like it was 10 times harder to do the things that I loved to do. Like, I love food prepping because I have to because of my Crohn's. I love going into the gym because I just want to look like a freak. And like anytime I would then walk into the gym, it would feel like work. It would feel like I was going to work instead of going in not because I had to, but because I want to. And that's another reason why, I mean, it's not my specialty, but I'll never coach anybody for a bodybuilding show because most people don't really get into it for the right reason. Most people don't really enjoy it, especially when you're closer and closer, you're miserable. Like, I want to work with people that are unhappy and on their way to happiness, not people that are prepping for a show that are going to get more and more miserable as the time goes on. And I've actually never worded it like that in a video, but I really like that. I just pulled that one right out of my keister and boom, there it is. So that's not what I want. And it's not my specialty again. And I don't, even if I wanted to learn about it, which I could, I don't want to. I don't want to invest time in learning about things like that. I want to be listening to audiobooks and working more with like food addiction, reading more up on that, psychology behind things, you know, and just investing time in teaching new clients things and teaching clients how to move and newbies. And again, getting people to get out of their own way and not live in fear and make more videos like the reverse hyperextension video so I could teach people about pain and all that stuff. That's what I want. Okay, so what is new for me? Nothing. What's new for me is that I am back on my journey to health, to walking in the gym, and I really cannot tell you that if you remember at the end, or if you watched the video with Jess at the end of it, with Jess and Andy, my first squat day back after my epidurals and my cortisone shot, Jess said, not like I'm counting, but it was months and months and months of me not being the Jen that I've been for years. and longer than Jess has even known me, and longer than any of my friends at Fit Club have known me. Like, I just was not me. And now I am just very much enjoying the process of doing my measurements, focused on size of the glutes going up, size of the quads and hamstrings going up, my waist going back down, which it's just about where it was before, but now we're increasing food, so it might go up a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Still wearing my waist trainer. I literally just finished jumping rope right here in the backyard on the cement over there. I'm starting, I really loved it. So there's that. I just started talking to somebody, and where I haven't been consistent with cardio, so we're gonna start having like cardio dates, like do it at the same time. He's not from here, but hopefully that will change. So I plan on doing that more consistent. I'm committed to myself, but like having a partner, and that's why it's like having a coach is good, because you have somebody holding you accountable. Like, you have to take responsibility for your actions, and I am holding you accountable, and then I support the process. And this has nothing to do with the jump rope, but this just has to do with like with my clients, I do daily check-ins and weekly check-ins. And the reason I do daily check-ins, and I've never woken up past 4 o'clock since January 4th of 2010. We are in 25. And I've never woken up past 4 o'clock because I am excited. I feel like I need my clients just as much as they need me, because I can't wait to get up every morning to read people's emails. I literally just told a client today, like, I'm more motivated to critique and support the emails that aren't 100%. Of course, I want people to follow the plan, but when you're not 100%, it's because something happened up here. You got in your head, you self-sabotaged, something that has to do with the emotional connection to food. And I am given the ability to help get you out of your own way and help that one day stay one day and turn things around for you tomorrow, which is why I do the daily check-ins. If I do weekly check-ins like a lot of coaches do, and not everybody needs it, I have clients that do weekly check-ins because they're very self-motivated and they just need to check in with me weekly, but the daily people, so the accountability. So then getting back to the whole cardio, I haven't been consistent with my cardio for a very long time. That's part of the reason why I started doing the boxing like every other week, 30-minute sessions, which I am going to film the next one. And now having this basically like accountability partner, where I'm going to do cardio, I'm going to jump rope at 6 o'clock in the morning, out here in my backyard, and possibly do the spin bike again. I really enjoy jumping rope. So, and that's it. But so that's what I have coming up. I have nothing coming up but me working with clients, putting out content for clients. I do have my clothing line, which I haven't talked about it publicly as to what I'm doing, but if you guys want to support my brand, I definitely recommend that you reach out to me on Instagram, because the website is not active anymore. So I actually have to take it out of the description. But I'm doing massive sales, 35 to 40% off on all. I have leggings, shorts, sports bras, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and tank tops. So sports bras, I think I have a couple hats left. I have to do inventory. So, okay. What's my max on bench and legs? So my max bench ever was 220. I was going to go for 225 at this meet. I did 209 at the last meet. I don't know why my coach then didn't have me do 215. I probably could have. My max on legs, my max squat is 274. My plan was to do 407 on the platform. But I don't plan on back squatting anytime soon. So I'm going to stick to the Rogers and hack squat. My heaviest I've ever done, I think, is 3.5 plates on the hack squat, not banded, which if you know anything about reverse banding the hack squat, it kind of takes, so like you can go significantly heavier if you reverse band it. So that's why I made it a point to say that it wasn't banded. And some people do the hack squat banded. So whatever. And that's really it. Leg press, the heaviest I've ever done, I think is like 10 plates on each side. Oh, and the bench were like 1 rep max. The squats, the 3.5 plates, I did 12 reps on those. 3 plates, I think I did 20 something reps, but we did it as a rest pause. So I think I did like 14, and then we took a 20-second break, and then I did like another, God, I think it was like another 10. No, another like 8 or 9, and then another 20-second break, and then whatever. I think I got to 27. Okay. Then what's my favorite TV show? I don't really have one. Sorry. What is the hardest challenge that you've faced in my fitness journey? And that's navigating. Well, let me just say something. The hardest challenge, I think, for most people is really finding the discipline to stay on track. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in discipline. Because you can get motivated for a minute, but it's about disciplining yourself. Like, I don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm going to go anyway. And I don't need a song or anything like that to listen to. I'm just going to go. That's discipline. Motivation is, I got to put on a song, or I got to give myself a pep talk, and that only lasts so long. And that's why getting into, like, really digging deep as to what your why is. I did a YouTube video on vision boards, and, you know, I want to lose 30 pounds. What is your why? So what will happen to you if you don't lose that 30 pounds? What is the negative result of not losing 30 pounds? And then the other, so there's 3 categories. And then the other one is, how will life be different? And that's the positive. What will happen when you lose the 30 pounds? So that's how I make my clients do vision boards. I forgot what the fuck I was answering. What's the question? TV show, hardest part. Okay, so I'm not going to say, for me, the food isn't hard. Like, I'm very motivated to stay on track because I have Crohn's disease. It's a blessing in disguise. Like, I have to stay on track, otherwise I'll be in the hospital with an IV on my arm. That's a really great motivation. But I think the hardest part for a lot of people is most people have something. Especially my clientele. Like, I'm working with, the average client of mine is between like 30 and 60. So, you know, I have a 16-year-old client. He just turned 16 the other day. He's been with me for a couple weeks. He's been with me for 7 weeks. When he first started with me, obviously he was 15, and he could barely shoulder press 15s. He just did 40s the other day for 12 reps, and I spot him on the 12th rep. So, like, that's insane. Like, I am beyond proud of this young man. So, whatever. I have him as a client. I basically coach my son. He just asked me a few weeks ago to write out his programming, which you have no idea how much that makes me emotional to even think about. I love that he did that. And then I worked with as young as 84. So but my average client is between 30 and, so I work with women that are going through menopause, premenopausal, and then a lot of people with a lot of injuries. So I think the hardest part for most people on the journey is working around injuries, because with your head. Like, that is why I was in such a dark space, but you would have never really known it. My clients wouldn't have. Like, obviously my friends did, because they saw me, not behind camera, well, behind the camera, whatever. But I think that's the hardest part. And then it was the hardest part mentally for me, like, getting motivated to go to the gym when I'm afraid to squat. Like, I've never had fear of anything. Like, even after I blew my back out 5 years ago and I was told I had a herniated disc, and then the doctor said, be prepared to never squat and deadlift again. And I said, after you watch me. And then I started rehab like 3 days later, and 8 days after being out of the hospital, I'd squat 300 pounds. So I think that, again, the hardest part for most people is working around injuries, and it's not even the physical, it's the mental. You know, being afraid when you've had knee surgery to, like, move laterally or something. Like, it's that. But it's like getting out of your head. But it also has a lot to do with trusting the process, trusting your coach. So, like, I have a coach for my nutrition. I do my own workouts. He trains me once a week on quads, and then I do all my other stuff. I do my mobility, I do my rehab stuff, and I do all my other training, my own stuff. Hopefully that answers your question. So if you are in need, if you are somebody that has back pain, back issues, post-shoulder surgery, I have a client that's been with me for 15 years. She came out here to Vegas, took me to go see Mary J. Blige to celebrate our 15-year anniversary. So in 2026, we're going to go on 16 years that she's been a client of mine. And that woman has had 3 knee surgeries. Not my fault. She used to be. She's retired now. worked in the police force. So something happened when they were trying to take somebody down and they fell on her knee. She had to have knee surgery. Then something else happened in work. She had to have the knee surgery again. And then we were doing all the right things and she just had to have another knee surgery. But again, it had nothing to do with the training. There was a lot of time. She's been with me for 15 years. And that actually happened, God, probably over a decade ago. No, more than a decade ago. Yeah. Probably maybe 11 years ago. So, whatever. Okay, so why, no, I'm not going to answer that one. Why are you so beautiful? Thank you. No question. I'm just going to wait for the entertainment you guys share. Oh, I was supposed to do it with Igor. That's it. That's why they said that. A big fan of yours. No question at all. Just all due respect. I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you. Is there any chance that we can train together? No. So I don't say that to be rude. I don't train with people I don't know. I only train with people that I know, that I see in the gym, that train with the intensity that I train with, or are open to training with my intensity. If you're like, quote unquote, a fan online and like, hey, I'm coming into town, I'd love to get a workout with you. With all due respect, that's just not something that I do. Would you ever do a pellet? So this person has asked me to do like cardio, 45, like you guys don't want to watch me be on the Peloton for 45 minutes or sit on a spin bike. Like, I don't know if it's that you don't believe me that I do my cardio, which I don't. Maybe that's why. I've never claimed to do it though, but whatever. Arm wrestle, this person asks me, and I have to say it's a different name. So there's multiple people that ask me to arm wrestle. I'm never doing it again. I've done it twice on camera, never doing it again. Why are you such a sexy badass? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Can't ask anybody. Just ask me. What's next? Anything coming up for you? Okay, so I answered all that. All right, so that's it. Just a few questions. There wasn't that many. And that's it. So I guess the point of this one, the biggest thing that I think were the top two, like what's next for me. And then the other one was what are your biggest challenges? I think those were the two highlights of this video. So if you are somebody that's interested in coaching, maybe you're watching this video and you don't need coaching, but your aunt is in kind of the same situation. Go to my website. I will say, go to my website in the description and read About Me page. And you can read all about my history, why I am the coach that I am, why I coach the people that I coach. It is a few years behind, but really nothing much has happened. I don't even remember if I updated it. That I'm an IFBB pro now, which was 3 years ago, which is not important to me. I don't care. And most people don't really care about that. I have so many certifications, pre and postnatal, older adult, youth, two in pre and postnatal, sports nutrition, NASM, NASM, ISSA, NASM CPT, NASM special populations. I have all those. But at the end of the day, in this industry and in this day and age, people are more likely to hire a trainer that's an IFBB pro than that has 75 certifications, which is disappointing because I will say, just because I'm an IFBB pro doesn't mean that I'm qualified to coach you, because all that means is that I can take direction unless I coached myself. All that means is that I know how to take direction from my coach. What does that mean towards me as a coach? I know what my coach did for me and my body, but does that mean that I know what to do for Sally, Joe, Bobby, all these different people, body types, history? No. But I do because of my history and my education and my background. That being said, I'll end there. Go to the description, fill it out, leave your comments, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. I am starving. It is time for my next meal that I have prepared. And that's it. Okay. Deuces.